Hi, namaste, and welcome to Breakout with me, Abha. Thank you so much for watching. We are committed on this show to bring to you exceptional people, people who are game changers, thought transformers, and business mavericks, people who have been there, done that, empowered men and women who have agreed to demystify this rules game for us, the success game for us, so that we can break out of what we find limiting and break into something that we find absolutely necessary for us. From them, we learn that there is only one rule to life, and that is that there are no rules to life. We just make them up all on the way. Everything is figure outable. And like I said, exceptional people. Today we have with us somebody who is seriously up to something that could change the world. So if you were to listen to what he is doing and what he has done, he is doing something that we need so bad and we need so dearly that I'm so glad that we have him on the show today. You'll all love to listen to what he's doing. Raised in an extremely small town, Shira, a tight-knit community in southeastern Colorado, this gentleman's only avenue to the broader world and an expansion of his horizon was books. Able to read before starting his first grade at the age of 5, his love of books and lessons within propelled him to co-valedictorian of his high school class of 10 people. Beckoned by broader horizons, he then joined a freshman class of a couple of thousand students at Colorado State University in Fort Collins, where he earned a Bachelor of Science degree in psychology. However, not content with broad enough horizons, he joined the Peace Corps and spent 2 years in the Philippines working in rice irrigation water management and teaching introductory social sciences at the University of Philippines. This developing country experience not only made him more grateful for the opportunities and possibilities available in developed countries, it also made him question his role in how he could be more instrumental in bringing equality to all people with limited means and possibilities. Recognizing the unifying importance of spirituality and the metaphysical quantum mechanics in all people's realities, he studied the universal power of love in his pursuit of a Master of Arts in Religions degree at Denver's Eilert School of Theology. Soon after graduation, he accepted his life's mission from a challenge issued by none other than the late futurist, inventor, and the world citizen Buckminster Fuller to change the predominant mindset of humans from one of competition to a more sustainable one of cooperation and collaboration. This led him to found the United Earth Ecclesia, dedicated to the co-creation of the greatest and highest good for all Earth citizens, and to write 2 books on the importance of this unprecedented undertaking. Please welcome. Now that was a very powerful introduction, and I am really going to take you through some very interesting stuff that this gentleman is doing. Please welcome Duane Stjernholm. Duane, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Abha. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's my pleasure, Duane. I'm so glad that you're here because I was reading your book this morning and I just couldn't keep it down. It had such powerful information about this the next evolution of internet networking that you have founded, that I was thinking, my God, this is phenomenal. People must know about this.
I agree.
This
People
is
must know about this.
right. So tell me, Duan, with all these organizations in the world, why do we need this particular United Earth Ecclesia? Give us a
Well,
brief background, give us an overview, give us where it started, give us what happened, and what does it really do?
sure. Um, well, like the introduction said, I was at the Isle of School of Theology and studying the metaphysics of love, and I needed to know how I'm going to apply this in my life. And once I attended the speech by Dr. Buckminster Fuller, he put things in perspective. He really showed me that we need we need to change our mindset from being competitive to being cooperative to make a more sustainable world. And in essence, what we want to do is make um, democracy a world concept rather than a United States concept or a country concept. We need to change that to a world concept. And so I this when I heard Dr. Buller speak, this is back 1980 before the internet was really coming into its own. And so I was struggling on how to make that change initially, but then I saw the power of the internet, and of course, it's the most powerful tool that mankind has ever made. But if you look at social media is great. It helps you keep in touch with your friends and your family and find out what's going on in the world. But it doesn't do a lot to really um, help the evolution of mankind, to promote the positive evolution of mankind. So
Right.
I thought, well, how can we use this medium to do that? And so that's when I founded the United Earth Ecclesia, and we're bringing global democracy in its purest form to the whole world in terms of one person, one vote, no lobbyists, no PACs, no corporate influence of the money. It's just pure democracy where people can just vote their mind. A lot of Christians ask, what would Jesus do? Well, what we're asking is, what would the average intelligent, maybe somewhat educated person in the world do? What do they think is important? What is the major issues that they think we need to address? And then once we identify those issues, we're going to be able to take votes and polls and find out how people think we should address those issues. And then once we determine the consensus on that, then we will move in mass to address those issues as a group and make the world a better place.
Right. And this United Earth Ecclesia is it's called. It's like you're trying to form a group of ordinary people. You've spoken in your book about the 80-20 rule and how, and it's almost, you say, 90% of people are average people who are not running the world, but they don't have the power to go out there and vote on the important things in life. We are just so competitive. We are just so fighting with each other that there is no peace out there. And this particular concept could actually bring about that space for us. Is this like what kind of organization is it? I mean, I was reading there that it sounds like a group or it's not a cult. I think it's not a religious organization, is it?
No, it's not really a religious organization. It does have a spiritual element to it, just
Right,
because we're all spirit.
right,
All of us are spirit made out of the energy of love, in bodies made out of made out of stars,
right,
from stars. So
right,
we do have that common spirituality, but it doesn't really follow one religion or another. It's just a spiritual element because we're all connected with the power of love.
right.
That's the most the strongest power in the universe, as far as we're concerned.
Yes, absolutely. The whole spiritual aspect of it and the whole understanding of people being a product uh, and manifestation of love energy in the universe. And you've talked about metaphysics, you've talked about quantum physics, you've talked about the whole metaphysical version of what the human being is and can do, and what is the possibility in terms of the whole spiritual thing we are looking at. And there's a lot of talk about it happening all across the world. So how is UEE, or the United Earth Ecclesia, different from similar stuff that is being talked about?
Well, I think it's unique in the fact that it is totally internet based. We don't have a church or the meeting hall or anything like that. Um, it's all going to be internet based, where it doesn't cost anything to join because we don't want to exclude people that don't have the few dollars for the initiation fee. And so we have other mechanisms to try to help fund the organization. We have a registered collective mark, which is an exclamation of love mark,
Right,
which is registered with the patent office. We have and by it is a registered collective mark, so only members of the organization can display that particular symbol. And we'll use that in two ways. One, if you're walking down the street and you see someone with that symbol on their water bottle or their T-shirt or something, you'll know that they're a member of the organization, and so they're a member of an organization that you're a member of. You're like-minded. They're just a friend that you haven't made yet,
Right.
and so you can identify other members that way. Or it also can serve as an opening for conversation. Somebody sees the symbol and go, "What's that?" And you gives you the opportunity to tell them about the symbol and about the organization and how we can work together for the common good.
Right.
So it and then we can use it as a fundraiser to help offset the cost of the website and everything like that. So we have products that people can buy with that emblazoned with that symbol, and they can display it and help us offset the cost of the website.
Right.
We hope we hope to get it enough people and enough funds that uh, the website will be available in perpetuity. It'll have enough funds to grow and develop. And this is very much a member-driven organization. It's really going to evolve with what the people, the members want it to evolve into. How much power that we would have, of course, is going to depend on the amount of people that join the organization. We're just getting started. The ideal number of members would be what's the world population? 7 billion.
Right.
So that's what we're shooting for. Yeah, to get everybody on board and to just make the world a better place. We don't have to be we're so enculturated with, especially in the United States. I don't know about in Jakarta so much, or Indonesia so much, but I suspect it's probably very similar. But we're so enculturated with this competitive environment. It starts out from first grade, from school. You're being competitive to get A's over, get better grades than the other students in the class.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be that way. The world is they've done a lot of psychological studies where they've pitted competitive groups versus cooperative groups, and the cooperation groups always come out better in the long run. And so that's what we want to achieve is it's just cooperation among everybody. We don't need this competitive environment. Competitiveness is okay in terms of sports and board games and that kind of thing, but when it comes to people's lives, we don't want to be competitive. We want to be cooperative,
Right.
and the world has enough resources to feed everybody, to house everybody, but because of competition, those resources don't get to where they need to be.
Right.
And so if we can change that mindset, we can provide everybody for with food and housing and water and the necessities they need to be self-actualization, to reach self-actualization and become what they what they can become.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
so
think it's everybody's. The biggest need of any individual is to become the best of himself or herself, and it's the same everywhere in the world. Same in Indonesia, same in India. I think we are being raised in this whole competitive environment. We compete and compare very poorly as human beings, and instead of sort of getting inspired by each other, we are worried about each other's success. And this whole benchmark of what success means, what life means, and what it should be like. It's a strange ball game. It doesn't make human beings like each other. It makes them dislike each other. It makes them
yeah,
hate each other. So, and that goes against your version of what life should be. That is a manifestation of love. So I think that's very clearly the case. So I'm sure this particular site is going to make a huge difference. In your book, Duane, you have stated that your mission is to change the predominant mindset of humans from a mindset of competition to one of cooperation and collaboration. How exactly do you propose to do that? We understand that this is the right thing to do, but how exactly are we looking at making that happen?
Well, when we have on the website itself, we have a public forum where people can post whatever they want, and we also are going to be having a series of polls. We have some on the website right now, and by the way, the website is at exlo.org,
Yeah.
exlo.org.
Yes.
Exlo is short for exclamation of love.
Right.
And so we tried to make it really simple. So it's exlo.org, but we do have polls on there, and uh, we're going to start out with, what do people think is the important uh, issues that are facing humankind right now? Well, one of the polls that we have up there is based on the World Economic Forum's Global Risks of 2014 report, and it we want to see what issue is the major issue that people think that we need to change, whether that be water crises, food crises, global government's failure, social instability, terrorism, um, economic breakdown, financial mismanagement, and in our case in the United States, where you know all these people, bankers, caused the economy to go crazy, but none of them got thrown in jail like they did in Iceland,
Right.
which is Iceland recovered nicely. Um, but we want to find out what people think is important, and to do that with a poll, with polls and surveys. And then once we determine what the major issue is, then we'll go through the same process of polls and discussions and bulletin boards and chat rooms, and people can discuss that and find out what they think is the best way to go about alleviating or mitigating that problem. And then we'll go through the same scenario and find out what they feel is the most effective way to deal with that particular problem. And then once we've decided on the issue and the solution, then we will just move in mass toward that solution. And in that sense, we're all being cooperative. We're moving towards the same goal. And hopefully that's going to help change the mindset of people from the competitive to the cooperative. It's going to take generations to do this. This is not a short-term fix,
Right. Right.
uh, because we're so enculturated with that competitive drive.
Right.
At least in Western cultures, to the Eastern cultures, especially like Japan and China, they are more into the cooperative area just as a part of their culture.
Right.
And so we need to adopt a little bit of that cooperation in some of the Western cultures, um, and hopefully that this is something that is going to catch hold, and people are going to see that, yeah, this does have value. We can provide everybody with the resources they need to thrive and grow. Like I said, there's plenty of resources in the world. They're just
Right.
not allocated properly.
Right.
And
Right.
so if we're all cooperative and allocate those proper resources, you know, make the swords into plowshares, so to speak, we can uh, we can make sure that everybody has the proper environment to thrive.
Absolutely. You talked about the Eastern culture. I think here we live, there's a lot of focus on community. There's a lot of focus on, and based on that, the cultural thing is more, there's more leaning towards family. There's more leaning toward, understanding and helping others in terms of community, which I think Western culture is more into the individuality part of life, where this is not. So somewhere we need a strong or a sufficient mix of individual as well as community to come together to understand what cooperation and collaboration mean. And I remember reading in your book that your small town where you were from, the Shira, there were so few people that you used to meet them every day for everything, right?
Yeah, you'd see the same people every day, and so
Yeah.
you had to learn to get along with
Right. So
everybody
I
because
really liked what you said over there, that you had to learn. The lesson that you saw was that you have to learn to like everybody because you will meet them every day and you might meet them at some point, and you didn't needed to
exactly.
understand how to. So, that was really so simple, but it struck me as something very powerful as well, because we live in a world which is 7.5 billion people. However, I think now with the internet, there's a scope of letting ourselves out there and allowing other people to come into our lives and get to know them better. And at
Yes,
some point, find a way to collaborate with them.
right. Um, what there is no financial cost to become a member of the United Earth Ecclesia,
Right.
but there is a Earth Citizen Covenant that you have to
Yes.
attest to in order to become a member. I'd like to read that to you just so we can see
Yes,
what
yes.
the
I
where
wanted
the
you to
starting
read that.
point is.
Yeah, I want you to read that. I want you to let everybody know how people can then come in as a member. What do they need to do something? Do they need to be something for that?
Oh, they just have to go to the website and sign up, and as part of that sign up process, they agree to attest to the Earth Citizen Covenant.
Right.
But let me read it to you so
Sure.
you know where we're coming from. The
Sure.
United Earth Ecclesia Earth Citizen Covenant reads as follows. As active United Earth citizens, we promise that we will not harm or trespass in any way on the person and property of any other United Earth citizen. That includes a promise to uphold the bonds of trust that connect all United Earth citizens who have sworn to this covenant. As loving United Earth citizens, we promise to love one another and act toward others as we would like them to act toward us. As rational United Earth citizens, we promise to promote world peace and protect every United Earth citizen's right to total individual freedom, as long as that freedom does not harm the person or property of any other United Earth citizen. Finally, as responsible United Earth citizens, we promise to strive to do everything we possibly can to protect and improve the ecology of our communal environment. So there's several elements there. None of them in and of themselves are earth shaking. They're just kind of rational, um, just things that are just made to be cooperative in every way. Um, we if you had a choice of doing a business with somebody that had attested to this covenant versus someone who had not, who
Right.
would you choose? Or if you had a choice to uh, have a romantic relationship with somebody, would you choose somebody that had attested to the covenant or someone who had not? Or if you had a choice to elect someone to office, whether it be mayor or governor or president or prime minister or whatever, oh, who would you choose? You hopefully you would choose the like-minded person who is
Right.
going to be cooperative and look after your interests in the
Right.
same way that you do. And so that's what we're trying to achieve is we're trying to get everyone to think in as a collective group. Um, you, you can keep your individuality. That's what makes us all unique. But that doesn't mean that we still can't work together
Absolutely.
and improve the world from every every aspect of the world, whether it be resources or ideas or
Right.
education or whatever. So we're trying to build an association of trustworthy individuals that have an opinion, that want to change the world, that want to make the world a better place, and want to work together to do that.
Right. I think it's following a similar mindset and understanding that people believe in the same things that we do. So this is something very powerful. It's like any other group, but with a mission to make the world a better place. So Duane Einstein stated that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, just change from one form to the other. In your book, you've used a term called Lenergy, a combination of universal love and creative energy. Tell us about this because this was one of the most powerful concepts in the book. When I was reading it, I was blown away. It was
Yeah,
so powerful.
that came out of my studies at the Isle of School of Theology. At the time, I was having a big dilemma personally, trying to reconcile science and religion. And so I looked at the two disciplines and see what was at their most basic structure. And of course, in science, it's Einstein's theory. Everything boils down to just being energy. Matter is just energy. E equals mc squared. They You can't get more basic than that. Then if you look at religion, uh, all major religions have some form of the concept of love, and so that is a compassion that um, that we use in religion to try to help each other. Um, and love is something that's pretty universal. Um, I don't care where in the world you're from. If people talk about love, you know what they're talking about.
Right.
And so, um, if you look at creationism as far as the way the world was created, and then look at our own creation, if you don't, if you're going to create something, you first have to have the idea. You, you have to have that. I've lost my sound with you.
No, I'm listening.
Okay. Um, um, you have to have the idea, and then you have to have the actual energy uh, to go out and do what you need to do to make that creation
Right.
possible.
Right.
And that's the same as with the one or God or Allah or whatever you want to call the all in one. Um, he had the idea for the world, and then he had to put out the energy to make the world. And that energy is, the especially in the Eastern religions, they have concepts of chi and prana,
Right.
which is life energy. But
Right.
that life energy is not directed; it's just out there.
Right.
And so the concept of liturgy is actually combining the intelligent being, utilizing that prana and chi, that life energy, to actually go out and create something.
Right.
So that's the whole concept of liturgy. It's life energy that's being directed by an intelligent being to in order to create
Great.
something.
Very powerful. Very powerful. I think that's what human beings are here for, actually. I think they're
Exactly.
here. They're here not just to just use the prana or the chi or the breath, but with that life form, and not just the body form, but the form that is created by that breath to create something outside of them, and that's where all the evolution takes place. So liturgy is I think, a very, very powerful concept for me. I just while I was reading, just enjoyed sort of relating to it, and how could one okay, if we were to go a little bit further into that, how does one, because this boils down to meditation, prayer, and a level of spirituality that we all see in different religions. If one were to sort of connect with this energy, what could be happening for them to believe, or what for them to understand that this is existing within themselves and they can use it?
Well, it's just part of the creative process. Um, and we all have that ability to, and that's how we are really connected with the one, or God, or however you want to term it. um, God is a creator, we're also a co-creator, and
Right,
so we can utilize that harmony of being with the liturgy, uh, to be in tune with God, to be in tune with what we feel is our mission in life.
right,
um, and there's all there people talk about being in the zone, or being in harmony with the one. And that's what it is. It's all a matter of vibration levels and energy. And the higher that our vibration level is, the more in harmony we're going to be with that liturgy,
right,
and the more that we're going to really feel that we're in tune with God's thoughts, and we can uh, utilize those thoughts to help us co-create and make a better world, and be collaborative with our fellow human beings.
right.
Uh, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's, if we look at it from a very simplistic perspective, everything on earth is created by either a human mind or a human body, and by that same power that you're talking about, liturgy, in terms of being able to use our not just the prana but the five senses to be able to create something outside. And a lot of people know that, but they do not use it in a manner which is collaborative, cooperative, and useful for every other human being. So what you're doing right now with this particular um, group or organization, United at Ecclesia, I think is going to change the way people look at these things. and it'll make it very simple for them and very useful for them to be able to use it.
Well,
Uh,
that's our goal.
yeah, that's the goal. So I'm sure you're going to get there, even if it takes a couple of generations, but it'll be a good beginning, I think. So please tell me, there is another concept that you mentioned in your book, and it's called political networking for collective consensus. This is not POLITICAL, this is POLL dash ITICAL, networking for collective consensus. Could you expand on this and let us know what that means?
Sure, and that it's similar to what I've been talking about. Uh, Political, POLL, means we're going to be using polls to determine what the collective consensus is. Um, and so, again, like I said, we will have polls on the website. People will vote on the polls without the influence of lobbyists, without the influence of PACs or corporate money. And it's just one person, one vote, pure global democracy.
Right,
So people can interact with each other, get each other's opinions, and decide for themselves what they feel is the right way to to go about doing things and creating things, and uh, using the collective power of the group to make that consensus and then act on it in mass to create the changes that we want to make. I
right.
know this is very in very grandiose terms, but until we get a lot of members and get the whole process going, it's going to be hard to speak in specifics.
Right,
Uh,
I agree, completely agree. I think it's grandiose, it's idealistic, but I think it at one point when we start off with something like this and we have enough a critical mass of people relating to it or maybe agreeing to the fact that this is something that is needed and there's a possibility of making it happen, this is bound to take flight. Are you also intending by this group, by creating this kind of an organization, to influence the decision makers in terms of getting a consensus on through polls and this whole concept of global democracy? Is it going to affect governments, decision makers, the big picture?
yes, definitely. Well, governments are made of people, and uh, and so people have influence over people.
Right,
And what we want to do is get using collective consensus from the polls, political networking for collective consensus, decide on what ways that we want to influence government, whether that be electing like-minded people to government, or doing boycotts, or doing uh, letter writing campaigns, doing uh, even as far as doing civil disobedience, whether
right.
that be a sit-in or a be-in or whatever we used to do in the 60s. Uh, it it's up to the people to decide to use what we're doing is providing the platform so people can use that platform however they see fit to make a better world.
Right.
And so that's really going to be up to the people on how they want to use that platform that we're providing.
Very, very true. So you have this mark which is the Xflow mark, right?
Yes.
It's got a love sign, it's got a plus sign. So we're going to put it on a slide later. That sign. Tell us about what it means. Tell us about what is the difference between the mark and the sign. There's a
Okay.
difference between the mark and the sign.
Yeah. We have a registered collective mark, and that's like you say, it's a heart on top of a plus sign. We're just trying to add more love into the world. It's called an exclamation of love mark,
Right.
or exclamation of love sign. And the one that's the collective mark, the registered one, has to be a gold color.
Right.
And so that's the official collective mark of the organization that only members can display. Now, there's also the we've also designated it as the newest punctuation mark in the world. When's the last time we had a new punctuation mark?
I don't
So this
remember.
is so this is an exclamation of love sign, and it anybody can use that. They can, in fact, on our website, you can even download a template of the one in black, so you can use it to use in your own communications, your own written communications, just to add more love into your own written communications.
Right.
Um, so uh, the gold one is the one that is on the different products that you can buy to display, and only members can display that one. Whereas the any other color or black or is the one that anybody can use to add more love into their written communication.
Right. That's very interesting. I haven't seen a in the recent times a new punctuation mark, so this is going to be very interesting. I think if we can display it all, I'm already thinking when you say products, I'm already thinking like if you were to if you were to reach out to women, this could be a real nice thing on their jewelry, on their dresses, on everywhere. And for kids, I think we can use it for kids on their in their school stuff and accessories
Sure.
and stuff like that. So where
Yeah.
that could be very interesting. So
Yeah. Here I've got one of the pins right here.
all
I don't
right,
know if you can see
okay,
it.
yeah, I can see that. Yeah. So where do you get those pins?
I have them specially made.
You specially made that one. So oh,
Yes.
I'd love one of those. So I'll probably
Okay.
ask you to send me one.
Okay. I can do that.
Super. So, Duane, how are you? How is this whole concept and this website, and how are you funding this? This seems like a huge project.
Well, unfortunately, it's coming right out of my pocket. um, I I just felt so strongly that this had to be done that I just had to fund it any way I can. And so I worked two jobs to try to make this happen. Um, we are doing a little bit of fundraising, but so far we um, haven't really pursued that in a very big way. We are looking for some sponsors. If we have some sponsors that want to contribute, again, we want to sell the products for with the exclamation of love mark on it, the registered collective mark.
Right,
Um, uh, but we want to stay away from the corporate influence and the advertising. And if you go to our website, you'll see that there's no advertising anywhere
right,
on the website. And we want to keep it clean and keep it neutral, so to speak.
right,
Um, but we would entertain an offer from a sponsor who would like to become involved and try to help us do this. Um, I have a meeting next week with a potential sponsor or partner, I should say.
right,
Um, but well, it's only money. It's a nice website. It does cost a lot of money. So we do have to have some money to operate. Hopefully we'll get to the point where we have an endowment enough that the whole concept is self-sustaining,
true,
and we will be able to evolve into there's the second part of one of my books talks about the website specifically and the possibilities for that. There's down the road, once we get a significant membership where we have significant numbers that will be statistically significant in the polling, um, we'll uh, we'll have people that oh, I lost my train of thought. We um, we want to have maybe areas where we would have like a dating site for people with like-minded people, or like a Craigslist type of area where
right,
people can swap goods and services.
right,
The problem with Craigslist is, I mean, it's a good concept, but you really don't know who you're dealing with.
right,
So if we had a similar type of that function, or Angie's List, then you would know at least that the person had uh, sworn to the Earth Citizen Covenant, and so they do have a little higher level of trustworthiness
right,
than just the normal person off the street.
right.
So there is a lot of plans for expansion of the website. And again, it's only going to be limited by the what the membership wants to limit it to.
Right. I think it's a huge possibility there with a trusted network, if we can call it. You
Yes.
you just know who you're talking to you know what kind of people
Exactly.
are there. So it's going to be, I think, the whole idea of being able to connect with each other, collaborate, cooperate, will emanate out of the same space in terms of being following a similar mindset of collaboration, cooperation. So you
Exactly.
spoke about your book. Where can we buy your books, and in what formats are they available?
The books are the easiest way and the cheapest is actually just go to the website. You can actually even download some excerpts from the books if you're not sure that you want to purchase them. There's some free excerpts in both PDF or audiobook format. You can buy the books in print format there also, or audiobook or PDF or ebook, so to speak. So
Right,
there's is three different formats.
right,
Um, you can get them on also Amazon and Barnes and Noble,
right.
but they're you get a little discount if you buy them off the website. So that's the cheapest way to go.
Okay,
So
super. So if people can go to a website, that's EXLO, right? Exclamation of
e-
laughter.
yeah,
EXLO.com.
exlo.org. No, not
Dot
com.
org.
.org.
Dot org.
O-R-G.
So it's exlo.org. So
That's
Duan, are you also this is a brilliant concept. Are you also available to speak to groups about this? Are you already
yes.
talking about it somewhere?
Oh yes, I've had several speaking engagements already, and as long as I have the time to do it, I'd be more than happy to speak to anybody about it. I'd like to do more radio interviews. The big thing is we just need to get the word out, and
Right,
we need to. We're anybody that joins right now is going to be designated as a founding member,
right,
and founding members will actually get some extra benefits
right.
than members that join later.
Hmm.
One of those is free listing in our member directory. So if you have your own business, you can promote your business for free to the other members. Um, we also have like I said, a kind of a public forum or a public bulletin board where people can post whatever they deem is good to post for the edification of everybody, all the other members. And we want suggestions. We want how would you like to see this whole concept evolve?
Right,
We need input from people. We want people from around the world. It's not limited to a United States concept or a Western concept. We want everybody to get involved that this concept resonates with.
right. It's a universal concept. I think anybody
Exactly.
anywhere in the world can probably just relate to what you're saying. It's so powerful. How do people get in touch with you, Duane? How do they contact you?
They can just go through the website. There's a place where you can send emails, just info at exlo.org. I will get that email. I can also give you my telephone number. It's my cell phone is 303-525-2611. So if you want to have me speak or talk to me about it, you just call 303-525-2611, and that's my cell phone. And I will answer it personally and be able to talk to you about anything that you want to talk about.
Super, that's great. So viewers can actually go up to the website explore.org and or call Duane and ask him anything that you want about this organization or about the work that he's doing. He's available to speak and he's available to do interviews. We need to get the word out for this organization. And Duane, where do you see this in the future?
Well, I'm just providing the platform. It's really what the members, how the members want to see it grow and develop. Well, once we get little larger membership, we're going to have a board of directors that is going to help direct the evolution of the website. Um, but it's really going to be up to the members. It's member driven organization. We're just providing the platform.
Super. So that is amazing. For me, I've read your book today and I was so fascinated. So this United Earth Ecclesia is the new concept that Duane Stjernholm is coming out with and has come out with already. And in his book, you'll read why it is important to create a world which is more cooperative and collaborative rather than competitive. And it is important to change the mindsets of humans to understand that competition does not make them expand, it actually makes them shrink. So it is collaboration and cooperation that makes them expand and live together as human beings in a more peaceful way. So thank you, Duane, so much. I forgot to mention your pen name is Dane Starlin, right? That's how you write your books, right?
Yes, that's what I write my books under.
All right.
It's a little easier to spell.
It's easy. I know your name is difficult. I had to say it at least 20 times before I could say the second name. So it is Dane Starland, Danestarland. That's Duane's pen name. Do go and look at his website. That is xlo.org. Write to him, speak with him, call him up on his phone, and do make it a point to understand that the finer points of what's going on here. This could change the way the world networks with each other in a cooperative and collaborative way. Thank you, Duane, so much for giving me time. It was lovely, lovely to have you here and speak with you.
Yes, and send me your email me your address that you want me to send your pin to.
I will. I will. I certainly can. I have more than one?
Yes.
You can. Oh, all right. So, wonderful. So I'm going to send you the address. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to follow it up with you until the pin reaches me.
Yes, and I hope to see you on the membership roll also.
Certainly. Certainly. I'll certainly be part of it. Certainly.
Yeah, you can just go to the website and sign up. And
Yes. Yes. And in whatever way I can support, I'd be happy to do that.
oh, thank you so much, Abha.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to bring my concept to the part of the world that I haven't touched yet.
Oh, we are here talking about collaboration and cooperation. I think this is part of all of us, all of our job to be able to support and help each other in whatever way we can. So it's my privilege I'm talking about this too. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, and tell Al Cole hi for me the next
I
time you
will.
talk to him.
I will. I will. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. Bye bye.